real quick. It should be live on Facebook now. How about share it real quick? This is so exciting. It should look like
Yeah.
that. You see it?
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I just shared it on my timeline.
All right, we're ready.
Perfect.
What up, everyone? We are live here with Taylor Larsen. I got my boy Taft. Boom. Taylor Larsen, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Doing so good. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to have you on, man.
I'm excited.
I'm just checking.
My heart's pounding. You might hear it. I'm excited.
Here, can you hear it?
I can feel it tingling.
It's magical.
It's magical. Hey, look, we have one person watching. It's me.
Yeah.
But we're live. Perfect.
Good.
Sounds good. Taylor, how's your day been, man?
My day's been really good.
What'd you do?
I went to school. I go to UVU, and just kind of had some meetings to go to with like UVUSA, student government, but that was about it. So.
Oh, is that why you chose? That's why you didn't work for the paper.
Yes.
Because you did
right.
USA.
That's right.
That's cool. What do you do there?
So I'm a senator for the School of the Arts, and I work with the dean of the School of the Arts and represent the students to the dean and work with their art program, making sure the classes and the faculty are like running smoothly. So
Wow, that's
basically,
pretty official.
I run this school.
I run this place. I just did an illustration for the paper. It's about the how like different departments get different funding. And and for the illustration there's like a bunch of like boxes, and there's like business and a bunch, and then one of them is art, and every one of those boxes had crap ton of money except art, because I hear the art is just like art department does not get enough funding at UVU. But we do. I hear we win like awards and crap. Like we're really good. We're just like so unfunded.
Yeah. You know what? Let's open a can of worms. Like I could talk about that for hours about
it's sad
funding within the arts. You know, the whole. But that it's good. I think a lot of artists feel like they're the stepped on, whatever of this society. But truly, I believe that art is like so important. Well, let me say this. I'm gonna go off.
Feel your angst.
I'm really gonna
feel your angst.
This is my time.
Yeah, this is your
to
time.
show everyone that loves sports what's up. Just kidding. No, I like sports too, but
the arts.
But the arts is better. I once was like discouraged because I got to a point where I was like, okay, I love painting, I love drawing, I'm an artist, but am I gonna make money, or is this gonna be like a real thing in my life? Am I gonna like cause my children to eat my paints for dinner? What are we gonna have? And a lot of people are like, oh, you're an artist, good luck, good luck with that. But I read a quote from Stan Lee, of all people, the comic book, and I don't like do comic book art, but I appreciate it because I appreciate a lot of art forms. But he said, someone asked him, hey, do you get upset when you see your friends that are like CEOs or that are working to cure cancer or doing big things, and you're drawing like cartoons? And he said no, because every human soul needs to return to the arts at some point or the other to receive inspiration to like keep moving forward. That it's like art's like a means to an end for all of us, for for everyone. Like we need our firefighters, our policemen, or our doctors, lawyers, but we need our artists to continue to make the world like a really good place. Yeah. And so it is a kind of a shame that sometimes in the school setting it's not so focused on, because I truly believe that if art was more focused on, it would help the brain do better at like math, at science, at those
You'd
things.
excel in other areas, not just
Apparently doodling is really good for your.
Oh yeah, because it's creative, it's instant. It's like your brain has to
But
fire off.
like doodling while you're in class, if the teacher's like talking and you're doodling, apparently students do better who doodle.
That's what I've heard too.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doodling my whole life. I might be like the exception.
I want to know how the word doodle came about.
Right.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
To doodle.
To doodle. To doodle away.
Origin of word.
So while he's looking that up, when did you start doing art? Like what's your earliest memories of art?
So since I was a kid, honestly, I did art kind of all growing up. I think a lot of kids do. So many kids have that instinct to just like draw. And I quickly learned that art was not like a talent with the hand, but more of like how you perceive the world. It's a talent with the eyes. Like if you can look at something and like identify it and like measure it, and draw it, like that's where the true art comes from. And so I've just kind of always done that, where like I sit down and when I was at church or wherever, like doodling in class, I would start just drawing people or drawing whatever. It wasn't though until the past couple of years that I really like started feeling like this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, is art and painting and drawing and inspiring, or in that way.
So here's the random question of the day. You do art. Have you ever had to draw a man naked?
Yeah, I have, men and women.
Men and women.
Men and women.
The woman thinks fine, but a man.
Well, I will say, so the first time
you saw a man schnitzel.
I was gonna make a terrible joke, but maybe I don't know where my boundaries are.
There are no boundaries. We had my son on last week. Yeah. But the kid I trained on my mission.
It's like, you have a child.
I do. I fathered a child, and his was pretty. He pushed the law, the boundaries. So I think you're good.
I think I'm good. Okay. Well, I was gonna say that. Well, never mind. But so I've drawn. I have drawn a lot of nude, and it's a
you have.
truly. I draw myself nude
in front of the mirror, like.
It's good practice.
Wait, please tell me you have. You have that. You did not answer quick enough.
Maybe.
So
it's
awesome.
kind of awkward, but it's
so awesome.
For my personal reference.
Personal.
But with nude art, it's and it's a school thing. Like UVU offers figure drawing classes. I went to SUU before I served an LDS mission, and they did figure drawing classes, and that was the first time I drew a nude man and a nude woman, not together, like they were separate. But the girl that came in, because I was doing some theater classes, and this girl walks in, and she was actually my partner for our final theater class. For like we were doing like a scene together, and I was like, "Oh, you're in this class too? I haven't seen you." And she like gets kind of awkward, and then she goes and puts a robe on, and then comes out, and drops. I was like, "How am I gonna talk to this girl after this? I know everything about her now." And it was really awkward because the scene we had to do, we played like a man and wife, and it was just like this unspoken, like, I have seen you.
Yeah.
I have drawn you,
Was she like just totally fine with it?
And she was, because they get like, and I personally could never be a model like they pay the students to do it, but I just would be kind of weird. But I will say it is a very sacred experience. As weird as that sounds, because it's a means to an end. It's an educational thing that all artists have to do.
But think of the vulnerability of the person.
I would be making jokes, be like we see you. You're like,
oh no.
You guys got 5 seconds to draw this pose.
It was weird kind of doing that, but also like I felt totally fine, because I felt that that's what I needed to do. That's where, for my art career, and now I know more of the anatomy. It's what doctors do. You study anatomy, and all artists of the centuries, like Michelangelo, Leonardo, they dissected. So that's what I've done. Dissect humans, and
you need to find dead bodies and start
dissect them. Know what they look like inside and out.
Cut them apart.
It's messed up. Yeah.
The anatomy is something that I try to work on every day. I'm not good at it.
It's hard.
It's so hard.
I want to make sure you can be heard. You're like, there you go.
It's so hard. And the sucky thing is, a lot of the artwork I do is cartoony, so I don't get to do it in practice.
Tyler does comic book.
Right. Yeah. And I think your art is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Your style of art
is way better, because I've been looking at all your Instagram.
No,
posts.
stop.
Yeah.
Stop. That's the worst.
I have a quick question. So you're doing calendars right now, which I can't wait to purchase for my 2018 section. Life. I'm really hoping that next year's better than this year. You're doing Disney.
Yeah.
On a business question, how do you get away with that?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I
'Cause they're good.
Kind of under the radar. So, well, in a sense, Etsy, because I sell on Etsy.
Yeah.
And Disney, because I'm also selling at the BYU bookstore, but not like the Disney ones. Etsy, if you go on Etsy and you type like Disney art, there's hundreds of vendors that do it, but they can't like say Disney. They say like caricature, or they can. A lot of them do, but I'm gonna play it safe and be like character art. But like Etsy, you know, like they let me do it, and so I'll just see like how long. Yeah, I can get away with that. Hopefully. You know, hopefully, like
the moment you start making too much money, though,
then
that's
they'll see.
That's when people take notice. Oh, there's some
Right.
dollars going there. Maybe we should
right.
reel that back in.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm kind of just taking like a crazy leap of faith there, hoping that
Well, you might as well.
I'm not breaking the law.
Here's the thing, though. This is something I've always thought about. Is one thing I want to do is because I love Batman. I want to write and draw my own Batman comic, but then go to either Comic Cons and try to get it noticed. Worst case scenario, they tell me to like stop doing that, and best case scenario, they tell me to stop doing that, but maybe offer a job.
Yeah.
That'd be
So
cool.
I mean,
Because that's the thing too. I've never been to Comic Con, but I have followed like a lot of artists that they do their fan art, and so I've always wondered with that too, like where the line is, like what's trademarked or whatever, what's not.
there was a girl on Tumblr. She writes, I think she does Lumberjanes. Don't quote me, anyone. But she was doing fan art on Tumblr of like Marvel characters and Disney characters and very explicit. It was very explicit.
Yeah.
And Marvel was like, "Well, this is good. We want to offer you a job, but stop doing what you're doing.
Wow.
Stop that. But you're talented.
But you're talented, so work with us.
So work with us, but stop that.
Right.
Yeah. So what are you working on right now?
So
you had those you have the Disney calendars, which look like sexy.
Oh yes. I have those. I have like a world landmark calendar of like most from places I've been and I've taken pictures of, references of, and then an America calendar with like American landmarks. Also like an LDS. In the past couple years, I've done LDS temples and sold those on calendars, and those have done really well, especially in this like Utah market. But this year I wanted to do like at least 6 different styles, and only like 2 that were LDS. So I've got that one. I'm working on like an Articles of Faith calendar as well, but within like the actual painting, it's like a world landmark America calendar, the Disney one, and a LDS temple calendar.
How long does that take you to do, like 1 month?
So, not very long in the fact that, like, similar to what you were saying, when I'm in class, I'm, like, doing a lot of things like doodling and getting the references and getting, like, the ideas and the composition of a piece is, I think, the longest
The
period of time.
the planning is the hardest.
But once I sit down and do it, I can do it, like, within an afternoon and, like, have it as what I'm okay with. Because it's, once I scan it in and edit it on Photoshop, it's only like on a little 5x7 calendar, so I'm not like too detailed, but enough to be like.
Is that watercolor digital, or is that you actually watercolored?
I actually watercolored. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When you said Photoshop, I was like, wait, did you digital that?
Actual watercolor, and then once it's scanned, then like the Photoshop is just like getting the layout of like the month, the calendar, and the dates and stuff.
So what's the goal? What's the plan?
So
as an artist,
like, so the plan is to, obviously, like, I would love to, I want to sell and do art the rest of my life, but I also am very passionate about teaching and art history, and I've almost feel like when I went to Italy for art history, and seeing the statue of David, seeing there's a nude man that I could look at all day, seeing artwork that I've known about my whole life. Okay, I feel weird that I said that comment. I hope people are like,
yeah, don't worry. Wait, I was gonna say he doesn't have a leaf on, but no, that thing's out there.
No, it's like looking at myself in the mirror.
It's not accurate. It's not accurate though, because it's not circumcised.
Yeah, most of those art pieces are really uncomfortable because it's like, that's not what that looks like.
Put that thing away.
Yeah. But Michelangelo's painting of Adam on the Sistine ceiling is really weird because Adam's like this huge muscular man, and then that certain spot of his body is like a really teeny. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But it's like on an anatomy level.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what were you thinking, Mike?
Mike.
Anyway, so I am very passionate about art history, and I do want to get a PhD and teach one day
Dang.
art history at a college level. That's like the end goal. But along the way, I want to paint and sell and like make money to help me through the schooling, and then as well, even after that, like I would love to
hard
continue
road,
that.
man.
I was having a conversation about this though, that teachers aren't paid enough. Like,
Right.
just think about how critical they are in society.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just not paid enough.
Yeah.
No,
it's
so you have to
it's kind of
really
a
be
rough-
passionate
Right.
about teaching and the subject that you're going into.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
I had a PR teacher, and he was a professor. He's a professor at UVU. He also has a bunch of side businesses he does. So like, crap, I probably shouldn't say this. No one's gonna listen. That's important at UVU. Not yet. But he'll take time. He'll be like, hey guys, I'm out of town this week. Just do A, B, and C, but I'll be back. Just because he's going on business trips, just trying to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's like, I remember at the beginning of class, he's going through the syllabus. We're not gonna have class this day. We're gonna not have class this day, and everyone's like, what the heck? And like, we're not having class. All he goes, listen, guys, I got other business ventures. I'm trying to put food in my mouth.
Yeah. No, yeah, I feel the same. And that's why I want to paint as well, and like
have a side
sell
stuff
that,
going on.
because and it all kind of goes along within the arts, but it's just a
What's your favorite thing to paint?
passion. My favorite thing to paint would be probably, I really like architecture. I've always loved drawing like architecture because it's just very aesthetically like pleasing to me. But I would say more so lately people, and my favorite thing to paint is like a scene of everyday life, or draw like someone eating an apple or something, because that's something that everyone can relate to. And there's like a term for that. It's called genre paintings. It's like, where someone could look at it and be like, wow, that reminds me of the feelings I get when I'm at my grandma's house, or, and it's different for everyone, but it's just like a scene of everyday life, someone sitting on a park bench, but abstracted in a way that it's artistic,
That captures the phrase, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Are you participating? Are you? Bad question. Start all over, Tyler. Inktober. Have you heard of Inktober?
I have heard of it. I've never participated in it, and I should. I've honestly always wanted to.
I want to.
I've never.
Yeah. I think, what's today? It's the 5th.
The 5th.
So it's like, I cleared off my drawing table today. It was super cluttered with piles, just so that I could start participate. I mean, I'm 5 days late, so I need to catch up. But I think I think what you're saying is so cool, because that's what social media is doing with art, which I love, is it's encouraging more people to or should I say that artists are more recognized nowadays, because of social media, because of Instagram and Facebook, you can post and people from New York or around the world can see your stuff and like it because of its tags or its and it creates
hashtags.
Community.
Yeah,
because artists are pretty reclusive people, where you're on your desk.
Exactly.
But it creates a sense of community. One of my favorite comic book artists, Jock, the Black Mirror.
Yeah,
Black
Mirror.
You know the scene, Taft, when he's on when he dives down the Seattle the Space Needle.
Yeah.
I found a black and white resolution version of it, just Jock's inks, and I colored over it. I just posted it on Twitter, tagged Jock in it, and he comments and he goes, "Hey, this is super awesome." And I was like,
"No way."
Oh.
Yeah, it's
So
cool
cool.
that can happen. That you can connect with
that couldn't
artists
happen.
that you
That couldn't
follow
happen
and admire.
10 years ago.
Right.
You're just like, I hope one day he'd like it.
Right.
But
No, exactly.
Maybe I should do that with music.
No, you
put
totally should.
A remix of electronic music out there, and
and then
hopefully,
tag it.
tag it, and
And then do it on there's so many sites. I use Epidemic Sound right now for all the video stuff I do for the school, and artists just put their music on there, and they say, hey, you can use this for free as long as you just give me credit.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
Internet, it's amazing.
With your art, because do you ever get those days where you just can't draw anything?
I do.
Can I
tell you a dream I had? It's terrible.
Oh, totally.
I had a dream. So there are days that you just feel kind of paralyzed.
Yeah.
There are days that I can sit down and draw anything, and then there are days where I can't even draw a line or a circle. And I was going through this rough stage in life, and within my art, I just couldn't draw. And I had a dream that my hand just wouldn't draw. and I just could not draw. I could not like sit down and draw, so I cut it off. I cut off my right hand, and I was known as the artist that like cut off his right hand and like learned to draw with his left hand. And so like that was what made me known. And so every now and then I like contemplate, maybe that's what
you got to
do. Do something like that to make a statement.
Yeah,
but I was so frustrated with my like hand that I cut it off and started like taught myself how to like do it with my left hand. But there are days where it's frustrating and it's unreal how like you just suddenly can't draw, but then the next day you'll be able to draw anything.
What's your advice then to people, to really anyone, art, musicians, or just really anyone who we go through these cruxes and it's so hard just to like get out of it? I mean,
the wall. How do you get over the
artist
wall?
block?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. How do you get over
creative block?
The creative block. I would say that like the simple answer and what I found that has benefited me is to just keep, like to not get discouraged or beat yourself up about it, because in those moments it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm not a good artist at all. I can't even draw, or whatever, and to beat yourself up, but to just keep moving forward with it, or to if those moments are happening, then to just like take a break and get away from it and go do something else, and then return, and then chances are after you've done that and like gone and hung out with someone or went outside and did something that's not art related, you can come back and it can start flowing.
I like that.
Yeah, totally.
All right, before we move on to our next segment, I have one personal question.
All right.
For Taylor.
Personal.
But it's about art. It's about art. One thing that I struggle with as an artist is that comparison, is looking at other people's art and being like, I wish I could do that. But also it's hard because you also want to have, like, every artist has their own style.
Yeah.
But sometimes you look at other people's style and go, well, their style's better than my style. Do you feel like you have a style, and do you ever compare yourself? How do you go around that mindset of like, no, this is my style, what I'm doing is good, don't stop comparing myself? How do you?
Right. That's a really good question. And I do frequently compare myself. And in school, in a way, you're almost taught, because every art class in school, they have a critique, and you're looking at everyone else's work and you're saying, this works, this doesn't. And then they're looking at your work and saying, this works, this doesn't. And it's easy to be like, oh, wow, I'm the best in the class, or wow, or like, oh, wow, I feel so low in this class, everyone else is really good. And there's that quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy. If you frequently comparing yourself, then you forget what you do have. And I do feel that I have a style but I got that. And advice for artists out there with whatever art medium is, you just draw and paint a lot, and just continually do it. And then when you look back on your stuff, you'll start to see like patterns and trends of, oh, I draw lines in this way, or I kind of shade in this way, and then you can start to play with it and change it to how you feel comfortable with. So I do feel I am continually finding my own style, and that's kind of what keeps me going through, is knowing that, hey, there are people that are better than me, but like none that are me, and I have my own thing. And also I also believe that we should look at other artists and say, hey, I like how they do that. I like how this artist does that. And then you can kind of take their things and kind of do it yourself. And that's how I've learned, because I've studied other artists, and I've said, oh, well, I like how this artist draws people's noses. I'm going to kind of manipulate that and do it similarly in my art, and draw a nose the same way or in a similar way, and and work it my own way. And so it's good to have like comparison that way, but often you're right, it does lead to like, oh dang, they're better.
Without any form of comparison, you don't really have any reference, like where would you get your inspiration in the first place if you didn't like, oh, I like what he's doing, like let me try to kind of emulate that. It's the same with music.
Exactly.
You
Style.
You have to start somewhere.
You have to know other people's style to like find your own style.
Boom. Well, real quick, Taylor, would you rather? Crap, I lost it. I found it.
I found it.
This is from my friend Ren. Would you rather lose a foot? Oh, let me read that again because I said foot weird. Would you rather lose a foot or have an extra hand?
Ooh.
That should be easy. An extra hand, you could do crazy things.
It's just like right here.
Oh,
it's just like right there. Just like
It's like on Scary Movie 2, the guy with the demented hand, but it's sticking off the side.
Yeah, it's just chilling on the side.
It
didn't say arm in hand. It just said hand.
That would be that. I think I would lose a foot.
Lose a foot?
Yeah.
Dang.
I think I would lose a foot. I don't know if I could.
I think I'd keep the foot and have them surgically remove.
Can't do that, man.
You
gotta keep that.
No,
hand.
I make my own rules. I make
surgically
them,
remove.
Yeah,
my life, and I'm taking
have them
control.
cut it off. Because
Yeah,
that's
I would take the
malignant,
foot off.
whatever that is.
Maybe if I can control it, I'll like have like it holding like stuff, like holding my pens and just like, hey,
And
draw
then
You're
that.
kind of like drawing and picking your nose.
Yeah,
at the same
exactly. Just doing a lot of.
Dating would be hard, though.
Oh, dude, I've no.
Yeah, you're trying
Not
to
that anyone
cover
out
it
there
up
that
every
doesn't
time.
have another hand.
I've had like, oh man, I had a dream. It's kind of jacked up. It's not jacked up. It's jacked up.
This episode's very dreamy.
Dreamy.
Dreams. I had a wait, Taft. You're not in the shot very well.
No, I tried moving the camera over a bit because you weren't in the shot very
I don't
well.
want to be.
I think it's good.
You're sexier. Taylor's checking his hair. No, I had a dream once. I was like in a car and I'm driving and I'm just like, my dating life is going just so bad. No one loves me. And then like I flip the car in my like tears and then like half my face is peeled off and I'm like, oh no one's gonna love me.
You thought it was bad before.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you don't have a face.
Yeah. So perfect segue.
Dating.
Tell us about your experience in the Provo scene.
Oh.
It's hard. It's a nightmare. It's a war.
It is weird. I feel that. Okay, and if I can be a little bit like, maybe almost spiritual in the sense of what.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
What I've come to know. You know, it's so easy to say, nothing's working out for me. Provo girls just look for this type of guy. You know, or Utah County in general. And it is. There is kind of an interesting dating life here, and we all know that.
It's definitely different.
It's definitely different.
That's established.
And
It
it's
sucks.
easy to feel like, okay, what's wrong with me if you're not dating and you see people that are like, as weird as it sounds, as bad as it sounds, you're like, wow, you're dating? You know, like,
Yeah.
what? How did it work for you? How is it not working for me? Not that I frequently am judging other people like that, but it's easy to, again, compare yourself to others and be like, okay, how are you doing it? How am I not? Like, what are girls seeing in you? But I will say that it's easy to think that, okay, I just need to get out of Utah County. And lately I've kind of fallen privy to the idea of I need to get out of Utah. I need to move away and do my PhD like outside of Utah, and maybe I'll have luck then.
Yeah.
But I realized that saying those things is like saying that the Lord can't work miracles where you are now, or, you know, or you can't, like, I can choose to be happy with my dating life, my dating life that I don't have, and choose to be happy here. And then things might work out, but it's on like his timing, I guess.
Timetable, yeah.
Rather than be like, oh, the Provo girls are, you know, it's a stereotype. It will work out when I leave Provo, because then, you know, who's to say, like, it would be different.
I think that's a really good thought. That's so true. Like, be grateful for the circumstances you're in instead of just like, oh, it's always sucking. Because I'll admit, I usually tend to take
I'm the sucky route.
We're
the sucky route.
You know, but
Team suck.
I
Sucky
appreciate
route.
that positive outlook. That's awesome. you
And
know?
like, and a big thing is really, it's just like, Provo's just so interesting with the culture. I mean, like, nowhere else I feel like is the goal in any town to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
like my friends in Oregon and stuff, they're just like, I'm like, dude, what are you guys like? They're like, Tyler, what are you up to? I'm just trying to find a freaking date. They go, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Dude, we're just chilling.
We're just having
Like,
fun.
we're just having fun. Whereas, like, if you didn't like have a date this weekend, like, like everything else you did was so meaningless.
Exactly. And I think that attitude of your friends is good, you know, to just be like, because dating should just be fun, you know. Or I also feel that, and if, you know, hopefully this addresses all the girls I've gone on first dates with in the past couple of months, but
To the first
first daters. But I just feel like we put too much emphasis on a first date, you know, and it's like, oh, if I didn't feel it, then he's not the one, and I can't go on another date with him, or with her, or whatever. And it's like, it shouldn't be that big.
You
It
don't
should
know
just
me.
be for fun. Yeah, you don't know me.
Bro,
you don't know me.
I have a rule. Is it's the rule of three. You either get 2 dates and a hangout or 2 hangouts and a date.
Yeah.
And by that time, I can make a clear judgment.
Exactly.
But like the first date, you don't know me.
You don't know each other.
I don't even know you.
And typically, you're kind of not even being yourself because you're like, oh, this is a first date.
Yeah, it's like there's pressure.
And so you shouldn't judge off that, and you should just be having fun.
Yeah.
You know, the first date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just.
I can think of someone that I need to take on a third date.
What's her name?
We'll discuss this
kidding.
later.
Taft does, but it's daunting.
Yeah,
it's just
it is daunting.
And I think it's just there's the pressure of it. It's overwhelming.
Just my experiencing alone, like with one girl I went out on a date with. The first date was way fun. It was awesome, super comfortable. The second date was kind of the opposite. It felt almost like not as comfortable, almost like not forced, but the conversation didn't flow as well. But that just shows the variability, and you can't base everything off such a variable. Maybe
something was off with you. Maybe something was off with her.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's too much going on to predict in the first 1 or 2 dates.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Taylor, where are you finding these girls that you go on dates with?
So, I am a firm believer in the traditional. Well, in like, say for instance, our singles ward here in Orem, it's large.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the whole like, oh, don't date in the ward. That could be
in the
awkward.
pool.
Well, I've never.
You've never heard that? Yeah,
No,
don't pee in the
funny.
pool.
That's funny. Well, but I think the frustration is like feeling that there's no settings to meet new people, meet new girls. But there are.
There's so many.
Right. And so lately it's just been girls I meet in the ward or at school, or a friend sets me up or something.
How do you pull off school? I feel like that one's hard for me. Like, cause school, I'm there for a purpose. I'm like, I'm in class. I gotta focus.
Don't pay attention to the teacher. Talk to me.
I don't want to be like looking back, like checking out the talent during class. What's going on? Like obviously you notice, but I'm over exaggerating. But I want to know, how do you meet people at school?
And it may be just easier or for me to say that because with my position at school as like a senator, I'm constantly out and about, like, and I'm meeting new people.
Yeah.
We're marketing for like different events happening at the school.
That means you see crap ton of people.
Yeah. So we see a ton, and we're frequently at meetings, and I'm frequently meeting new people that are also very like, people that are at the school a lot. And so I see a lot. I will say this one girl, it was kind of weird. I was in a class once, and I looked back because it was an art history class, and there was about 200 students in the class. And the professor kept like talking to this one girl, and I looked back and I was like, wow, she's really attractive.
Yeah.
And so the next class, and the worst thing, I go and I sit by her, and the professor knew me by name, and so he was like, and I always sat on the front, and that time I was sitting in the back by her.
Yeah.
Just trying to play it cool, like, oh, you just sit in here.
I just happened to sit
And
here,
the professor was like, where's Taylor? And he like looks around, and he's like, did he skip out? And it was the professor I went to Italy with, so he like would make,
Is it the bald guy? You're close.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he's awesome. And so he was like, where's Taylor? Has anyone seen Taylor? And then the girl I sat with at the front that was just a friend, she looks back and she sees me and she's like, oh, he's back there. And then he like makes this big deal. Why are you sitting back there by these new people? And I was like, your seat's still open. And I was like, oh. And so I literally was like, really? I know. I was like, what's the term, cock blocking or something? Yeah. I was like, you're doing this to me right now.
I was
like, do you not know what I'm trying to do? But I did start talking to that girl, and I asked her on a couple dates. We went on like
That's
3
awesome.
dates. And then, it turned into like, hey, you're a nice guy, which was fine. And like we just stayed friends. But
Wait, that was the response she gave you? Hey, you're a nice
after
guy.
the third, she's like, hey, I don't really want to date.
Okay,
I
at
just want to
least
stay
you
friends.
went on 3 dates,
right?
though,
We did have 3 dates, and it was a good experience.
I like how we talk about it. Like, that's the rule. At least you went on 3 dates.
Guys, that's how sad it is here.
Yeah, like
how sucky
so
it is. I got 3, man.
It's so analytical,
No.
Anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
But yeah, so I have had that opportunity to like ask girls in class, but that's a weird, because especially at a college level where people are really just there to get to school, get to class, and then go home. Really,
especially at UVU.
Especially at UVU, it's not like a
There's no housing.
similar, type of school,
life.
like a BYU. And so it's kind of out of place to do that. But the people I'm meeting with UVUSA, I've gone on a few dates with, and that's been fun, But then again, it's like, well, a lot of them are also people in student government. So I'm like, well, if it goes weird, I'm working with them all year.
Yeah.
And so, yikes.
What about what about the mutual?
The mutual app and Tinder.
No, screw Tinder. Don't get away from screw Tinder. Get away from that. But like mutual.
Okay, well, I literally one time, this is the confession time. I one time with Tinder, because we're all wanting, the human soul needs like
that connection. Someone to
and we have hormones.
Oh yeah,
totally. We have.
Where are you going with this?
Never mind. I should stop. This is embarrassing. Anyways,
okay, no, we're hormonal.
There was one time, because I had a lot of roommates in the past year that used Tinder a lot.
Yeah.
And they were like, Taylor, just download it. It's fun. But that's never been me. I've never just been like, okay, I want to go, make out or something.
Same here. Yeah.
Even though at times I'm like, maybe I do want to make out with someone.
Yeah.
Maybe I do want to NICMO. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, NICMO.
So,
yeah.
but no, so I've never done Tinder, and I've never done Mutual. Mutual, I don't find anything wrong with that, And I think it's maybe just a pride thing. I think the fact of going back to, if I have a lot of people to meet in my ward, why would I then go to an app to do it for me?
Yeah.
Why not be engaged face to face and say, hey, that girl's cute, but then return home and be like, oh, but I'm too embarrassed to talk to them, so I'll find some girl on Mutual. Not that that's what we do, but I feel that social media kind of does that to us.
But
that it's a safety of.
It also makes you like obviously, guys, we are men. Okay, we know what we want, and it shows you all the options. And the fact that you have all these options, you're like maybe the people you see like live on your everyday, you go, but there is a way cuter girl on the internet somewhere, and I will find her.
Yeah, yeah.
I personally, I'm gonna tell you a story. I deleted Mutual 2 weeks ago. It was great. I was free. I felt great. I was free. There's a but.
Yeah, I was about to say, you were showing me it today.
But this is what happened. My son comes into town, Connor Stapley. Hope you're listening to this, you jerk. He comes into town. He's only here for 2 days. He gets like freaking 15 matches, just boom, 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 boom.
You were like, oh, I gotta get it back.
And I was like, what the heck? And so I re-downloaded it, redid my bio, and I even put a picture of him and I as my main photo. And I randomly you can send like one note to one girl a week. Yeah, there's just one random girl who's just like really pretty. She should never even like look at me. I'm such scum.
No.
And I just like, you're gorgeous. And then we matched. I don't know what to say to her though.
Dude, that's awesome.
Should we figure this out?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right I want to hear, because this will be good for me. Like
it's not good.
What was that? Did you see that picture?
Yeah.
The two girls on the right and left of her were X'd
You got to
out.
make sure. Well, she wants to it's a group.
And then there was an arrow.
Maybe
it was her humor.
Like her saying, look at me, not look
it's a
at
group
them.
photo, so when you look at it, you go, oh, that one's her. It's not those two.
But why would you choose a group photo in the first place?
Because maybe she looked really good in that group photo, man.
See, I don't know.
At least
That's
crop
weird. Yeah, crop it or do something.
I don't know. I have a good picture of you and I on there, Taft. True story. Want to see it? I'll show you guys. I'll even show the freaking camera. I'm not even embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
Show the camera.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Oh.
Oh, look at that. Wimbledon, right?
Wimbledon.
Yeah, the Wimbledon.
And then this is the one that was Stapley and I. Gosh, we look so
Is that your son?
This is my son.
Okay.
He's way bigger than me. He's so sexy.
Isn't that weird how and that's another comparison thing. How we look at some people and dating just works for them. And they're nice people. We love them, or whether they're a friend or someone we know. And it's like, okay, what am I doing differently? How is it working for you? How is it not working for me? Like your son, Stapley, right?
Yeah.
How he got all those matches suddenly. And it's like, how did that happen?
Well, I think it's his height. He has a lot more options. Because I stop at the 5'8", 5'7". He's got and he can access the 5'9". 5'10", 5'11", 6, 6'1", 6'2". I just cut them off. I can't do that. I still swipe up on them, but they don't swipe on.
Do you have would you date someone taller than
I
you,
would.
Taylor?
Honestly,
That's
I
awesome.
would. Yeah.
I think that's sweet.
What?
And I've tried.
Oh wait, try what?
I think society
someone higher.
Society views that as weird, like a man being shorter, but I don't think that takes away from your masculinity.
No.
I would date a girl
shorter.
that's taller than me, only by that much. Look at the camera, that much.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
applaud that.
we have a lot of societal like things that.
Oh crap! I spelled it wrong.
I agree.
Phrased my sentence wrong.
So
it must not be inspired.
It must not.
This is why I wrote. Maybe she'll reply within the end of this podcast.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, that'd be weird.
Hey, how's your day going? Also, what are your views on adventures?
Oh.
And ladies, this is why I'm single.
Well, you know what though? I was talking to a friend about mutual, and they said I do it because it does give me experience within dating, knowing how to flirt, knowing how to.
Yeah.
And I kind of I like that because there are times that I'm like, well, maybe when I text a girl, my flirting's like not on point. Maybe I'm too nice. Like, you looked really good at church today. Happy Sabbath. You know, maybe that's my flirting. It's like,
that's awesome.
Hope you have fun at the Relief Society activity. You know, maybe I need to be more of like a bad boy. Like, yo, what up, girl?
Like, is that your bad boy? What up, girl?
What up, girl?
What up, girl? You want to skip Relief Society? Come hang out with me.
Poop
Boom.
emoji.
Bad boy.
Poop emoji.
Poop emoji. Tongue face out emoji.
Yeah, no, so I think that from what I've heard from friends that they use mutual as a way to just have experience, you know, and to get better at flirting, better at the game, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Tyler. Tyler's improving the lighting conditions in here.
Taylor's sexy face.
Yeah, it's the light.
All right, guys, we're going to play a game now called Confessions. We played it with Tyra. We're going to do it again. Rule of the game is easy. We have all written on pieces of paper a sentence story. Okay. After the story has been read, the other two people get 60 seconds to interrogate said person who says the story. I need to write a page that just has the description so I don't botch this every time. And we'll see if it's true, if the story is true or false. Who would like to start?
I'll start. Let me get this over with.
So I get to help interrogate.
Yeah.
the two of you
after he's done
interrogate
reading, I hit the timer. And we ask him questions.
You can ask any question you want to try to find out if it's true or false.
Okay.
And go for it, Tad.
Okay, my brother, he cracked my head open once. Yeah.
Starting now. Which brother?
Bryce.
And what were you doing? Like, how did that happen?
We were in the backyard, and he was pulling me by a four-wheeler and a rope.
I believe that.
And
so
I was
four-wheelers and ropes.
it was in the snow.
Bryce is
and
crazy.
we hadn't put up the hammock yet in the backyard, and the torque, the G-force of going around, I fell off of the sled.
How much blood did you lose?
By the sled. I didn't get stitches.
You didn't get
That's
stitches.
the thing. I didn't get stitches.
Dang.
And my head cracked open on the edge of the
How old were you?
hammock.
Yikes! How old
were you?
Oh,
I don't remember how old I was.
I don't believe
I
it.
really don't. I really
Okay.
don't.
What'd your mom think of it? Did you spank Bryce?
I can't remember those details.
I don't know, Taft. What do you think?
you know what? That's good. I think you seem very believable.
Minute done. Yeah.
The minute's up.
What do you think?
I would say that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying it's true. Can I ask one more question? No, it's too late.
Yeah,
I gotta
it's
follow
too late.
the rules.
Follow the rules.
I'm saying it's false. I said it's false. What is it?
Tyler's wrong. It's true. Taylor, you're right.
Dang it! Where'd you get cracked?
Right here where my scar
That's why I wanted to ask. I was like, I was looking at that thing. I was looking at that thing and I was like,
You're like, is that related?
that could be it. So I was like, I want to be like, hey, I wanted you to be like, I was gonna ask, where is it? Where did you get hit? Dang it. That was so dumb of me. Bad Tyler. Okay, well, I guess I'll go.
Hey, you learn from your mistakes,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, I'm gonna interrogate you so hard next
Taylor, you're up.
All right, I'm up.
time. Ready?
Okay, I once destroyed a motel room on a high school debate trip.
Minute starting now.
Which hotel?
It was in St. George. It was like a really cheap hotel. This is why we felt justified.
Okay, that's
in-
more believable.
in
We felt
destroying it.
we felt justified. How many other people were there?
We were so wasted. No, I'm just kidding. We were not. I'd never drank before in my life. We were. There was 4 of us, all guys.
Name them.
Oh yikes!
At least one of them.
Nick.
I hate Nick.
Nick. He was the culprit. Nick. I don't remember his last name.
Lachey. Bad joke. Sorry.
No, but there was a Nick.
What'd you do to destroy the hotel room?
Yeah.
So we had pocket knives, and we were like throwing it at the wall. So people are.
How old were you?
22.
Did you lose
No,
your?
I'm just kidding.
Are you are you a Boy Scout?
I am.
Did you lose your
I'm
totem
an Eagle
chip?
Scout. Yeah. Totem chip?
Yeah, you know the pocket knife card.
Yeah. No, and there was
up.
like a microwave that we were just like melting word stuff in the microwave.
In the microwave? I think it's true. That's true.
It was the worst thing I'd ever done in my life. It is true. But the thing is I didn't get in trouble for it when our high school found out because they said, "Oh, Taylor, you would never do anything like this." And I said, "You're right." And then lived my life.
So that's
the truth. You're right.
No,
I would never, but
I did confess. I did confess that my high school was so chill. They were like, "Oh, that's okay," and it was a crummy hotel. We probably improved it.
They looked at that wall and go, "This is art."
Literally the worst. I was a senior. It was awful.
Oh my god.
And all the other guys in there were like freshmen.
So you were throwing knives, melting things.
Yeah, we melted a bunch of Starburst in the microwave and like cracked the plate, and then they like threw the plate away, and then they lit the stove, and like this big fire explosion happened in the kitchen. But then they were like throwing knives at the wall and seeing who could get like close to this certain like mark on the wall. It was bad.
Wow.
I regret it.
I regret
it deeply.
All right, guys. Real quick, I was at Disneyland, Florida, and I was with my like an orchestra trip. So I'm a nerd, and we had like the hotel rooms, like the door goes into can go into the other one, and so my friends they unlocked it and they went into the other room with like the other like some other school kids, but like my friends like they were naked, and so like because they thought they were so funny that night, it ruined my night. And they run in there like, ah! Now you can hear this other people scream like, get out, get out. But one of the kids was in the shower, and he comes out in his towel and robe, and he's like, what's going on here? And he turns on the light, and there's my friends like naked, and he goes, oh, it's that kind of party. Takes his towel off. Takes his towel off.
Was he serious or joking?
I don't know, dude. He had to write. MTV came to my school to find people to be on one of their reality shows.
No way.
If he's joking, he has a funny sense of humor.
He's crazy. Well, when MTV was interviewing him, he went off on this like tirade, and he had to write a letter to MTV apologizing for his like crazy behavior because the lady felt threatened because he was like, "Let me tell you something about MTV. It's all propaganda." Throws a chair, takes his shirt off. He had his pants off. He was just in his underwear.
Oh my gosh!
Kid was nuts. Yeah, he's working at Half Price Books right now.
That's funny.
All right, you guys ready for mine?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, I will hit. Oh, are ready? Oh, crap, I can't find my timer.
Let me time you.
You ready?
Go.
My first kiss was when I was 5 years old.
I already know it's
Whoa.
true.
Like a baller.
Whoa.
Where did this kiss take place?
Where'd it happen?
At my house.
And who was she?
A girl, Kayla Adams.
Kayla Adams. Were you just like neighborhood friends? Like, how did you know Kayla?
My parents were friends with her parents, and that's how we met.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something more to that. Yeah.
Where is she today?
That's a great question. I would really like to know where she is. She sent me an email when we were 15. I was like, oh, you got hot.
Oh, dang.
I already know this is true. Like, I can already tell it's true.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's just trying to... He took my same route. He's just trying to deceive tell the truth, but kind of pretend like you don't know the details.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Did you do that as well?
Kind of, yes.
Okay, time's up. It's true.
That's true, except I got her name wrong. It's not Caleb Adams. It's Kayla Wilson. I just realized that.
Oh, well.
I guess I lied.
Lies.
Dang it.
That was a lie.
It was a lie.
Hopefully she doesn't watch this podcast.
I had to give her chicken pox. My mom and her mom were like, I had chicken pox, and her mom was like, kiss my daughter so she can get chicken pox. And so
what? Is that really the reason?
I'm dead serious. That's why we kissed. Was her mom was like, my daughter hasn't gotten chicken pox yet. Your son's got chicken pox, infect my daughter, so I zombified her. like a G.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know where she is though. I legit I remember when I was living in England. Somehow we got each other's emails.
You lived in England?
Yeah, I lived in England for 3 years. Yeah, and she sent a picture. I sent a picture of me, and 15-year-old Tyler was like, "Oh, yeah," and derp and dur. And she sent a picture, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can see your belly button." So I thought that was cool. Kayla, wherever you are, I'm single.
I'm single. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's a fun game. I like how you guys do this. Game.
We're working on getting music, so it'd be cool to have dung dung.
So I've gotten the audio routed through. I just need. I want to. We'll have a business meeting after this.
Business meeting. Taylor, do you have any last words you want to say?
You know what? I feel I was very vulnerable. I'm kind of regretting some of the things I said.
No.
But hopefully, that was fun. You guys are fun. This was fun. Go art. Go everything.
Go everything.
I love life, and so thank you for having me.
Taylor, thanks for coming on.
You just
really brought wisdom and brightness, and it was good.
I'm going to apply the lessons that you have taught me in my everyday life.
Oh, boom. I like it.
Absolutely.
And likewise, I will as well. Thanks for your advice and your stories, too, your humor.
Hey, thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
We are out. I got to fart,
out.
so let's do this. 3. Oh, yeah. Dang it. We got to...